All right, hi everyone. Can you hear me good and well? Cool, perfect. All right, so welcome to the platform booth, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. We're going to be doing a partner talk with one of our partners, Interactive Strategies, and why we're the go-to platform as a service for any PHP project for them. We're also going to talk a little bit about infrastructure as code. But first, let's get into some introductions. My name is Haylee Millar. I'm a product engineer at Platform.sh. I've been there for about 4 years now. But when I'm not coding in my free time, I like to pet my cat, crochet, read, all that good stuff. And here we have Jameel with us today. Jameel, why don't you go ahead and...
Hi, I'm Jameel Moses. I'm the VP of Technology at Interactive Strategies. We're a DC-based full-service digital agency. WordPress, Drupal, Sitecore, Umbraco, kind of do it all. So happy to be here with you today, Haylee.
Perfect. All right, so let's just go over our agenda really quickly today. This is going to be a short talk, so we're going to give an overview really quickly about infrastructure as code, how you're able to manage and provision your resources through code with Platform, how you can handle some automation, version control, as well as making sure that you have consistent, repeatable, scalable projects. And then we'll go over a quick example, which is the Wilson Center, as well as what are some impactful results that you can take home if you're not super technical or you're trying to sell somebody who is less technical on these sorts of topics. So let's just kind of go over infrastructure as code. Infrastructure can be a dependency and defined within your code base at Platform. You can define builds, deploys, and your access points. So here specifically in this code snippet that we have here, it's our platform app YAML file, and you're seeing that we have a Drupal build with PHP 8.1 and Composer, so that's pretty basic. We know that we're working with some basic Drupal setups. Additionally, commands can be run after deploys are defined, as well as relationships set for your Redis cache, so you don't have to figure out and deal with that pain point there of figuring how things connect, as well as security patch upgrades built into our command line and YAML configuration file setups.
And having this kind of declarative approach that's version controlled in your code has a lot of benefits, right? So say you need to update a PHP version, things like that, you can change those things right here in your code. It's version controlled. Push it up to a lower environment, say a development environment or a feature branch, and then test everything there. And then if you need to, you can roll back easily, et cetera. But what it ends up allowing you to do is have very consistent, repeatable infrastructure. So this also allows you to boilerplate to create efficiency. At Interactive Strategies, we have the platform app YAML and all the necessary config directly in our boilerplates. And so we have development, staging, production up and running within less than 30 minutes, just because it's inherently part of our code base.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. So here's kind of a look at what our 3 YAML configuration files might look like based on your root folder for your Drupal website. We have our app configuration file, which we just looked at, as well as a routes and services file. And as teased in a couple slides ago, updating dependencies is built in, so you can set exact expectations on your platform configuration file as source operations that can be then used in the command line. But this feature is an elite and enterprise agency level for our customers, so you got to spend some money with us and work with us and collaborate, and we'll get you those features. But yeah, in this specific example, we're updating a dependency that executes a Composer update and a Composer lock only if the environment is not production. So you're able to set those guardrails up for yourself. All right, so you can do other things as well, like pulling from shared code bases or infrastructure upgrades. You can run things like platform branch upgrade PHP, which your command line will then spin up and build a new branch for you to test your Drupal site under a new PHP version. This allows you to achieve uniformity and automation by applying your standards to your entire organization, which is something that I believe Interactive Strategies has leveraged quite a bit.
Yeah, by being able to use these very well documented and put together APIs, we're able to automate a lot of things, especially when you start to introduce things like Terraform into the mix. It allows us to scaffold and also help to manage a fleet of 65 websites that we have currently hosted in Platform.sh.
Awesome. So I'm going to let Jameel kind of take the lead here and talk to us about the Wilson Center, which is a success example for them, and just basically touch on some points basically about the project.
Yeah, so the Wilson Center is the second largest think tank in the world. They have a very, very big, complex Drupal site. They have more than 100 search implementations on their website, nearly 70,000 nodes, 100,000 media items. So it's a big behemoth of content. There's also a lot of individual needs that they had that had to be taken care of with a lot of custom solutioning. So we created this notion of this microsite builder for them that had some advantages over, the domain contrib ecosystem. And then, so we're also leveraging multi-app support. So the main website is operating, within the server, and then separate from that, there's also a WebSocket that's running for per event chat. And so when they have conferences and events, that's there. So that's a huge benefit actually of Platform.sh that we have found. The multi-app support has been pretty game-changing for us, right? If you want to run, say you're doing a headless Drupal or headless WordPress, and you have your Next.js app as well, right, for your front end, having those in the same platform, in the same server, right, without having to have completely different infrastructure, has been a really big benefit for us. Another aspect of this is they have we're using multi-domain support there for that help us with the microsites, and then this is also hosted in a dedicated environment in Platform.sh, which the performance of this site, if you go to it, is incredible for a site as big as it is, as much content as it has, and how much complexity there is in pulling in data. It performs extremely, extremely well.
You want to take this as well? Sure.
So at IS, since switching over to using Platform.sh as our exclusively recommended hosting provider, I've now gotten 65 of our clients' websites migrated over to Platform.sh. That's really provided a whole bunch of benefits. So what that's allowed us to do, in addition to the great service that we've gotten and support, is it allows us to onboard and offboard a lot easier, right? We have the ability now to have people know well a bit of infrastructure and how things function. And gone are the days of having to figure out how CI/CD works in 12 different hosting environments and things like that. So that kind of that's allowed us to automate a lot of things by having that consistency and build a lot of tooling that is able to read, write, and handle a lot of that config.
Yeah, so I just really want to highlight that when you're able to automate and standardize these sorts of things, you're bringing to the table a higher level of efficiency. So you're not having to do as much, you're able to collaborate more easily, you're allowed to do your job and develop more easily, and then you're able to bring that back to your customers, right? So you're able to go and say, hey, I have this project proposal for you, here are all of the details, and actually, because I've got this all automated and done in a way that I can spin it up all in an hour, I can actually offer you a more competitive price because of that. So we're able to give you kind of impactful, tangible results beyond just a technical aspect, but also like a sales and project proposal format as well. Anything else you'd like to add?
Nope.
Perfect. Well, I'd like to thank Jameel for coming with us today and doing this talk. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask us anything. We've included some QR codes, so if you'd like to know how to deploy a Drupal website on PSH, please feel free to hit that QR code, or if you're interested in interactive strategies and any of the work that they do as an agency partner, please feel free to look at that as well. But I want to thank you all for your time and your attention. I hope you all have a great rest of your DrupalCon.